Hello, American patriots, and welcome to another episode of the Ducote Show. You had many places you could be tonight, but chose to be here, and for that, I'm forever grateful. I'd like to do a shout out to all of the new subscribers to our .com, DouglasDucote.com. Thank you very much for joining. To all of you that have passed the message on about the .com, thank you so much. We are growing, and that is a very good thing. We have the website. For the first time in several months now, finally, we were able to get an email out advertising that the show was going to start tonight. So that's a very positive thing, and we will adjust that as we go forward. And hopefully in the very near future, have it working as smoothly as it was going back around the first part of the year. So that's a very positive thing to start the show off with tonight. Tonight's show is going to be basically about what took place today and my personal view of the House hearing that the Democrats held and brought William Barr, the Attorney General, on to drill, to give grandstanding speeches. But before I get into that, I want to share something with you. Tonight, Anonymous Ops claims that they will be cyber attacking this show. For over a year now, they have been telling me to shut my show down, to stop putting out videos that are negative about Democrats and liberals. For over a year, they have been doing this, saying this, sending me messages, whether it's through email or our Facebook pages, constantly saying either you shut down or we will shut you down. Then a few days ago, they put out an actual YouTube video and basically said just that this was my last warning, and that if I go live tonight, they were going to cyber attack me, attack our router, the computer system, and destroy everything that we've built here. So if the show goes off the air in the middle of this, I guess they weren't keyboard warriors in their mommy and daddy's basement after all. If not, then I was right all along. But these days, I don't put nothing past anyone with what we're seeing happening in the streets all across America with these crazy, liberal, left-wing nut jobs. They're doing everything in their power to stop and shut down the conservative voice. For those of you who don't know, they have banned me for life on Twitter, so I can't use Twitter anymore to get the word out. And I keep getting put in Facebook jail, and just tonight, as we were sharing like we always do, on only sites on Facebook that want to see the advertisement for this show, as well as my own personal Facebook page, the Douglas Ducote Show Facebook page, American Patriot by the Grace of God Facebook page. We were only sharing the advertisement for the show there. And Facebook decided, you're done, that's spam. So, that being said, it'll be interesting to see where we end up by the time this show is over with tonight. All right, so let's talk about what I personally took away from today's hearing. I sat in front of the TV, drank several cups of coffee, and watched from the start to the finish of the House Judiciary Committee bringing Attorney General William Barr on to get questions answered that the Democrats want him to answer because, in their minds, he has done things that are illegal against the Constitution and is basically a puppet for President Donald Trump. So, as with anyone that comes in front of Congress to testify, that's what it's supposed to be about. The members of Congress ask a question, and the person that's there to testify answers the question so that they get their questions answered. That's how it works. That's how it has always worked. That's how it's supposed to work. But that's not what took place today. No, not at all. For starters, it was delayed about 45 minutes because Jerry Nadler supposedly was in a car wreck and got there late. So he gets there, he gives his opening statement, which was 110% damning towards Attorney General Barr. It was disrespectful. It was unethical. It was un-American. It was pathetic. And he added things in there about the president as well. Then he allowed William Barr to give an opening statement. He only gave him 5 minutes and then shut him off. From that point on, went what was supposed to be the question and answer session. And typically it was a Republican would ask a couple of questions and William Barr would answer. And the Democrats, well, they would ask a question, but as soon as he would go to answer, they'd shut him off and say, I'm retaining my time. We're done. We're moving on to the next thing. And then they would damn him and they would trash him and they would say rude and horrible things about him and refuse to allow him to answer any questions. So when it would become the next Republicans' chance to ask questions, they were having to limit their time by allowing Barr to have a few minutes to actually answer the question that the Democrat member didn't allow him to answer. Instead, they brought him there to make fun of the man, turn this into a dog and pony show, an absolute disgraceful circus on steroids for all the world to see. Some of the things that came out of different members of Congress' mouth was, well, let me put it this way. You would think you weren't watching a congressional hearing in America. You would think you're watching a congressional hearing in a dictatorship country during the Soviet Union era of the 1960s. That's what was displayed for the world to watch. There was not questions. There were personal attacks. There were political statements, not questions. There were insults, not questions. There was grandstanding, not questions. Throughout, each member of the Democrat Party that was there to, quote, ask questions, the only way Attorney General William Barr was able to answer, and it was only partial answers because there wasn't enough time for the Republican member to ask their question or talk to him what they wanted to, he maybe was able to answer 10 questions out of several hundred. That is our Democrat Party and our Democrat House run. What I kept thinking about was my service to America and all of those that served this country with honor and dignity, whether it was in the military or in government service or in law enforcement. I kept thinking about all those that have bled for this country, that have been injured and maimed for life for this country, and those that have died for this country. The Democrats made it very clear, every one of them, that they are anti-law enforcement, that they are pro-Antifa, domestic terrorist. They made it very clear that burning buildings, courthouses, banks, busting down doors, store windows, looting, hurling bricks, frozen water bottles at law enforcement officers, outright terrorist activity. They made it very clear, hands down, that that was peaceful protesting. As a matter of fact, to listen to them talk today, you would not know that they have a television set in their house, in their office, that they're completely isolated from the news. You would not know by listening to them talk today that there was anything other than peaceful protesters, and that they're being physically abused and attacked by President Trump's order of combat troops and stormtroopers to go out and attack innocent people peacefully protesting. Every one of them denied that there was anything happening that we've watched happen on our television sets every damn night since George Floyd was murdered. You wouldn't know that there's been several hundred police officers maimed for life, several killed, some of them recently blinded for life. They don't have eyesight anymore because of the lasers that were used against them in Seattle and in Portland. Everything that we see happening with these riots, the Democrats not only didn't see it, they completely denied its existence. Every one of them said it was made up, that the Trump administration was making this up. And if and when there is any aggressiveness of peaceful protesters, it's only because the federal officers attacked peaceful protesters. That is what the House Democrats said today. Now, as I tell everyone, don't take my word for it, watch it. When the show's over with tonight, it's all over YouTube. There's a million places well, not a million. There's a few thousand places you can go to tonight and watch from the start to the finish of everything I'm telling you right now. Every one of these Democrats denied what we have been watching happen across America. And that is absolutely disgusting, pathetic, on a level that I've never seen in my lifetime. I was born in 1962. I've been around a while. I've seen a lot of shit. I've seen political parties treated with more respect and dignity in countries that are complete and utter shitholes than I watched today in this House hearing. So, allow me to share with you the congressmen and congresswomen and where they're from and what my personal take is of each one of them. And I'm not going to bore you with a long, drawn-out deal. In fact, I'll make it pretty quick because it's that quick and simple. Let's start with Congressman Jerry Nadler, Democrat, California. He is a lying, racist, bigot, un-American, domestic, terrorist-loving parasite. Congressman Greg Stanton, Democrat, Arizona, is a lying, racist, bigot, un-American, domestic, terrorist-loving parasite. Congressman Eric Stilwell, Democrat, California, is a lying, racist, bigot, un-American, domestic, terrorist-loving parasite. Congressman Ted Lieu, Democrat, California, is a lying, racist, bigot, un-American, domestic, terrorist-loving parasite. Congressman David Klein, Democrat, Rhode Island, is a lying, racist, bigot, un-American, domestic, terrorist-loving parasite. Say it with me now. Congressman Joe Nuggs, Democrat, Colorado, is a lying, racist, bigot, un-American, domestic-loving parasite. Congressman Lou Carrad, Democrat, California, is a lying, racist, bigot, un-American, domestic, terrorist-loving parasite. Same thing with Congressman Joe Lufkin, Democrat, California. Congressman Steve Cohen, Democrat, Tennessee. Congressman Hank Johnson, Democrat, Georgia. Congressman Ted Doss, Democrat, Florida. Congressman Cedric Richmond, Democrat, Louisiana. My place is a lying, racist, bigot, un-American, domestic-loving terrorist parasite. Congressman Hankum Jeffries, Democrat, North New York. Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia, Democrat, Texas, is a lying, racist, bigot, un-American, domestic, terrorist-loving parasite. Congressman Lucy Macbeth. Congresswoman Jamie Raskin, Democrat, Maryland. Congresswoman Prima Japel, Democrat, Washington. Congresswoman Val Demings, Democrat, Florida. Congresswoman Mary Scallon, Democrat, Pennsylvania. Congresswoman Madeline Dean, Democrat, Pennsylvania. Congresswoman Debbie Powell, Democrat, Florida. Congresswoman Victoria Escobar, Democrat, Texas, is a lying, racist, bigot, un-American, domestic-loving terrorist. Congresswoman Karen Bass, Democrat, California. And the worst of them all, the absolute hands down worst as far as what came out of her mouth that makes her a lying, racist, bigot, un-American, domestic, terrorist-loving parasite is none other than Democrat of Texas, Congresswoman Jackson Lee. As a matter of fact, how that woman sleeps at night or looks in the mirror with the things that she says, I don't know. I don't have a clue. What I know is that these people are no different than others I've talked about in the past, like Alihan Omar and Rashid Tlaib and Anna Presley, AOC. They're lying, racist, bigots. They're un-American, domestic, terrorist, loving parasites. And today, anyone who watched those hearings and from today on in the future, throughout the history of America, anyone that watched what I watched and heard come out of these Democrat members' mouths will have no doubt, unless you're a babbling idiot that doesn't have a freaking brain and can't think for yourself, will have no doubt that they're a lying, racist, bigot, un-American, domestic, terrorist-loving parasite. Many, many thousands, hundreds of thousands, actually over 1 million men and women have suffered, bled, injured, and died for these freaks to stand up there and represent Americans with absolute disgust and hate for our law enforcement, for our military, for our veterans, for other members of Congress. Every time a Republican member today tried to get Jerry Nadler to listen to them about something they had to say, a point, he would not do it. He shut them down. And in one case, actually said, your questions are irrelevant to me. That's our Democrat Party. Therefore, open borders. Therefore, the destruction, removal, and unfunding of law enforcement. Therefore, domestic terrorists. They're okay with looting and burning. And in fact, AOC herself just recently said that maybe these looters are doing it because they don't have a job because of COVID-19, so they need to get food and diapers and milk for their children. That's how stupid this has become. And it's a disgrace. And it needs to stop. And it's up to us. It's up to us to have the 6 of our men and women in law enforcement. If you live in Portland, Oregon, or Seattle, Washington, or Atlanta, or Chicago, or anywhere these Antifa thugs and the Black Lives Matter movement are terrorizing people, if you're physically capable, you need to band together. You need to reach out to the law enforcement in your community and say, we're here. We're here to help you and assist you. What would you like us to do? Because the time is coming, God forbid, if the Democrats win in November, and if they happen to take back the Senate and keep the House, America, as we know it, will be no different than any other country on God's earth. In fact, in some cases, it will be worse because they're hell-bent on destroying it, literally dismantling it. They're pissing on the Constitution, and yet at the same time staring into a camera and blaming the Republicans. It is time. It is time that this shit stop. Not another innocent civilian needs to be hurt because of these radical terrorists. Not another police officer needs to be killed because of these radical domestic terrorists, or anyone injured or maimed. Just a couple of days ago, they shot and killed a black man because he had a flag that said Trump 2020. They killed him. He's dead. They're attacking and killing people that have any kind of bumper sticker that shows support for the Republican Party in any way, shape, or form. They're walking up in broad daylight in the streets and punching them in the face. It's right here on YouTube for you to watch the videos and see what they're doing. You won't see it on CNN. You won't see it on MSNBC. And shamefully, Fox News doesn't even begin to shed light on what reality is for our men and women in law enforcement on every time they put that uniform on. They are shamed by the Democrats. They are spit on by the Democrats. They are lied on by the Democrats. The Democrats want the youth of our nation and their followers that are too stupid to realize the truth and do their own homework. They want them to believe that every day law enforcement across America wake up, and the first thing in their mind before they get ready to go out on their shift is how many innocent black youth can I shoot and terrorize today? That is the new Democrat Party. I, Douglas M. Ducote Sr., was born into a family of Democrats here in Louisiana, like everybody was back in the 60s. I was a Democrat for many years. And when I went into the United States military in 1985, it became very clear to me that the Democrat Party didn't give two shits about the military. And then my mind just opened from there of everything else I didn't give a shit about. And then I realized, wait a minute. The party of JFK, that Democrat Party, is changing drastically. And now here we are in 2020, and I don't recognize it. It's a domestic terrorist organization. That's what they've become. Folks, we're in trying times right now. Things are getting worse. Come the election in November, even if President Trump wins, even if we win back the House and keep the Senate, and everything's Republican controlled, if the Republicans don't do the right thing, I will hold their feet to the fire like I've done in the past. It's so sickening to hear people when they go out and they trash me because they haven't actually watched my videos to see that I don't give a shit if you're a Republican or a Democrat. If you're up in Washington, D.C. for your own interest and you're not representing the people and you're lying and you're pocketing fucking thousands and thousands and millions of dollars of cash, I'm calling your ass out. In fact, I probably have called out more Republicans than I have Democrats. But no, these little fuckers like Anonymous Ops and Antifa, no, they don't, they're too dumb to fucking realize that. They're too stupid to do their own damn homework. We've reached a point where things better change really, really fast. I don't have all the answers. All I know right now is if you're an able body that's not physically handicapped, find a way to reach out to our men and women in blue. Find a way to tell them that you support them and that you want to be there to help them. That's fucking funny. My wife just brought in a fire extinguisher and said, "You're hot." Yeah, I am. I've had enough of this. I really have. To all you Anonymous Ops people out there that are attacking me and conservatives and Republicans, and all you Antifa people, all you Black Lives Matter people that want to call everybody that doesn't agree with your ideology a racist bigot, fuck you, you un-American pieces of shit. Nobody fucking cares about what you have to say. Because this is the United States of America. And we have this thing called the Constitution. And if you want to shit on it, we will fucking fight back. So go eat shit and die as far as we're concerned. Because we don't have no time for that crap. Republicans and conservatives want peace. We want peaceful protesters. Protest your ass off. I'm all for it. I fought for it. But when you take your peaceful protest and you allow others to come into it and hijack it and turn into domestic terrorists, then fuck you. Your protest is over with. Pack your shit up and get the hell out. Or, better yet, get the fuck out of America. And on your way out, take Ilhan Omar and Rashid Tlaib and AOC and the rest of these fuckers with you. Because you're not welcomed here. The greatest generation in American history is rolling over in their graves right now, looking at this clusterfuck that's happening here in America. And they're going, oh my God, why are y'all sitting there not doing anything about it? Yep. The men and women in blue in Louisiana, they know where I stand. The FBI here in Louisiana, they know where I stand. My local law enforcement knows where I stand. Louisiana State Police know where I stand. Our sheriff's departments all across this state know where I stand. I talk to them on a regular basis about the anarchy that is happening in America. We're blessed here in Louisiana that we're not experiencing what we see on our TV in Portland and Seattle or Atlanta or Memphis or Chicago. It's bad, don't get me wrong, but it's black on black crime. Like what happens in Chicago where 40, 50 people are shot every 24 hours. 5 or 10 are killed. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, same thing. New Orleans, Louisiana, I won't even go down there anymore. I love that city. I grew up in that city. It's going to shit because of black on black crime. And in the crosshairs, in the middle of the firefight, innocent people and children Lives are being taken by stray bullets. Every day in America, every day, there are well over 1,000 black youth shot and killed. It is an epidemic of black on black crime. And the Democrat Party turns their head the other way. They don't mention it. They don't talk about it because they welcome it with open arms. Because they are the racist bigots of American society, going all the way back to Abraham Lincoln and fighting him against freeing the slaves. All the way to segregation, not wanting to see whites and blacks come together. Planned Parenthood, Democrat run and even funded today to eliminate black babies. They founded the KKK. And where's a prime example that they're still the exact same party? Pick a city, any major metropolitan city in the United States of America where there is horrible black on black crime. And look who the mayor is. They're a fucking Democrat. And when you look at several cities that are Democrat run in a state where there's heavy black on black crime, look who the governor is. They're a fucking Democrat. And you bitches have the gall to say that the Republicans and conservatives are racist bigots. You motherfuckers don't have a clue. You're destroying the United States of America. Reach out to your members of law enforcement. Let them know you got their six. Hell, put together rallies to support them. Anything besides sitting on your ass. And B, you better freaking vote in November and spread the word and vote these parasites out of office. It's our only choice other than a full-blown civil war, and nobody wants that. No one, at least on the Republicans and conservative sides, want to take to the streets and fight them back with the same shit they're fighting us. I sure as hell don't. I've been to combat 4 damn times. I'm telling you, it sucks. Never thought I'd see the day that America is that close to going to war. Right here. Some of the things that Ronald Reagan preached, I'll be damned if they're not coming true right now. 1 generation away from extinction? America? That generation's right this very damn moment. We're at it, folks. This is it. 2020. Pass the word on. Share this video. Check out my other videos. Let people know. I'm not shutting up. I fought for these constitutional rights. And one thing that I fought for the most, besides the Second Amendment, is my First Amendment rights to freedom of speech. And the Democrats and liberals believe that only they have that authority. Only they have that right. And if you don't side with them, you're wrong. And they want to shut you down. Antifa is a prime example. Black Lives Matter is a prime example. They don't want to hear what you have to say. They don't want to hear the actual facts from the DOJ and the FBI. Nope, don't want to hear it. Even today, during the congressional hearing, a Democrat member brought up horrible racism in law enforcement. And an example she used was Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri. I swear, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. You've got to be. You just soon praise Adolf Hitler, bitch. While you're at it, how about we just pump up Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden? Michael Brown, that fucking thug that attacked a cop, and the cop had to kill him to save his own life? That Michael Brown? And then Black Lives Matter burnt fucking Ferguson down? A member of Congress said that in his hearing tonight. That's how lost they are. I don't know if they're just not capable of comprehending factual information about cases that took place, or if they're just fucking ignorant, stupid. I don't know. But I've seen Sheila Jackson do it, say it. Kamala Harris, Cory Booker. Hell, I don't think there's not a black member of the Black Caucus that hasn't used Michael Brown as an example of police Semitic racism. Not only was that proven wrong, the hands up, don't shoot whole freaking scenario was a lie, but is investigated by the black president, Barack Hussein Obama, and his black attorney general, Eric Holder. And they both came out in the very beginning about how we're going to get this white cop. They both sided with the Brown family. Barack Obama sent people from his administration to Michael Brown's damn funeral and never went and talked to the police officer. His life is ruined forever. And when the investigation was done, Black Eric Holder had to come out and admit the truth. That had this white cop not shot this son of a bitch, he would be dead. And that is factual information you can take to the freaking bank. If you haven't already done so, please go over to DouglasDucote.com and sign up for our free newsletter. Plus now, starting today, we're able to send out a message in the email chain to let people know the show's going on. We're able to do that now with videos in the near future. We now have control of that. It's a learning curve because we don't have a producer at the moment, but we're getting there. Political correctness, it's the destruction of America. I'm done with it. If you want to see somebody that's politically correct, if you're afraid of hearing a few bad words, don't watch Doug Ducote. Because, no, I'm not going to candy coat shit. And that's factual information. As always, please say a prayer for our men and women serving in the United States military, our veterans, our brave men and women in law enforcement that are out there risking their lives for fucking pennies on the dollar. Our angel families, our first responders, our blue and gold families, our president, and our country. God bless the United States of America. We need God's intervention more today than probably any time in American history, other than maybe the end of World War II. Because had we not won that, we would be speaking another language right now. Thank you. God bless you all. And I hope you have a wonderful and blessed evening. The show airs Tuesdays and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time. And in between, I'll pump out a video or two on things that I find you as an American patriot need to know. Have a blessed night, everyone. See you soon. I'm out.